Hi, I'm Scott Wrighton. I serve as City Manager of Decatur, and it's my pleasure to bring you these weekly updates on what's going on in your City of Decatur government. For most of the time that we've been even doing these videos, we have focused first on what's going on with COVID. As many of you know, the governor has declared that as of June 11th, the state is transitioning from phase 4 and bridge to phase 5, which is the state and the Department of Public Health's terminology for getting back to as much or as close to normal as we can possibly get. That's a major watershed for us, and it is supported by the data. Here in Macon County, the positivity rate now for 2 weeks in a row is below 1%. To be precise, it's 0.9%. That's lower than it's been in a very long time. And in fact, of Illinois' 102 counties, 101 of them are not in warning status anymore. Some of them are not as good as Macon County, some of them are better, but all of them meet or exceed the requirements of the Illinois Department of Public Health for reaching the goal of control of the virus, except for one, and that one county is nowhere near us. It's up by the Wisconsin line. So what that means for us, I believe, and what it means for these videos is we're going to focus less on COVID and focus more on some of the other things going on in local government. Before we leave COVID, though, I want to stress that getting vaccinated still is your best defense against getting the virus. There continue to be reports of the virus, there continue to be deaths. Thankfully, those numbers are way down, but it is not like this is no longer a thing. And we have to be on guard for some of the variants to the virus, the D variant and several others that in some countries have proven to result in surges. We have not seen that here, but vigilance is one of the ways we will make sure that it doesn't happen here. So it's not back to normal as it was pre-pandemic, but what it is back to a new normal where we do most of the things that we used to be able to do, but with some small revisions, such as here in Decatur, you have to wear a mask if you're on public transportation. You have to wear a mask in most medical facilities. If the local establishment requires masks, then you have to wear the mask. And if you haven't had a vaccine, then many organizations will require vaccination. Here at the Decatur Civic Center, for example, we allow people to not wear masks as long as they've been vaccinated. If they haven't been vaccinated, then they have to wear a mask, and you'll see a sign to that effect when you enter the premises. But for the most part, many of the other ways that we live our lives and our businesses are conducted can be expected to return to some semblance of normal, and we're very happy about that. So I want to spend far more time in these weekly videos talking about other things. And I'd like to focus on topics especially that are directly related to city government and the work of city government, and particularly those that the local media maybe doesn't cover at all, or that they haven't covered as fully or as accurately as we'd like to see. The first of those has to do with streetscape improvements and bike trails. Last week, the Illinois Department of Transportation announced several cities and counties throughout the state that were recipients of grants through the Illinois Transportation Enhancement Program. And Macon County fared very well. The city of Decatur got a $2 million grant for the streetscape and bike trails it plans to build on Highway 51 between Pershing and El Dorado. The Decatur Park District received a $2 million grant for another portion of the Stevens Creek Trail, and the villages of Forsyth and the village of Mount Zion both received lesser amounts for bike trails in their jurisdictions. So 4 jurisdictions here in Macon County received that kind of funding. That's pretty significant, even though it wasn't covered that much in the media, and it's particularly significant because for the last year and a half or so, the city, working with our regional planning agency, has developed a long-range plan for how to put in more bike trails in the city and in the county, because over the last several decades, Parks and Recreation surveys consistently show that citizens want more passive recreation, more open space where they can just do their own recreating, and walking and jogging has been a key part of that. And so to the extent that we can plan for that and receive money for 4 different jurisdictions here in Macon County to facilitate additional improvements, that's really a good sign and a real positive for Macon County. Second topic I want to talk to you about has to do with the disposal of garbage, recycling, and yard waste. In 2016, the city of Decatur made a significant change to its ordinance that set forth the collection arrangement that we have right now. The ordinance also provided for fee increases of 50 cents each year and set forth all of the terms and conditions for the collection of yard waste, recycling, and garbage, and the containers for it, and special conditions and so forth. What's happened since then is that there have been some changes that have been brought about by just changing situations with the garbage industry, problems with the recyclables market, and a major change that's affecting Decatur is that our two largest haulers, Advanced Disposal and Waste Management Incorporated, are merging. They aren't just merging in Decatur, it's a nationwide merger. Both Advanced Disposal and Waste Management are nationwide companies, and they made a decision that Waste Management would absorb Advanced, and they have been making that happen. It's already been approved, but they're actually implementing it separate markets at a time. So even though Waste Management nationally is larger than Advanced, here in Decatur, Advanced actually has more customers than Waste Management does. So the absorption of Advanced Disposal's customers by Waste Management has created some problems. I'm going to tell you that right now, be honest with you. There have been problems of customers not getting their trash picked up, inconsistencies with regard to how bulky waste gets picked up, inconsistent enforcement of the rules with regard to yard waste, and several other problems. The number of complaints we've received from customers into our community development department that handles all of these waste complaints has increased too much, in my opinion, and so we're trying to work with the haulers. But almost all of those complaints, nearly all of them, come from about 80% of the city that will be served by this combined Waste Management Advanced Disposal merged service area when it is complete. So we are working with the haulers. The city council will eventually be making changes to the ordinance to reflect some of the ways that there have been inconsistencies that have creeped in to the way that services are provided. If you have complaints, please call the community development department. We want to know what is going on in terms of what sorts of irregularities there are when services aren't provided the way they're supposed to be, because information like that is helpful to me, helpful to our staff as we figure out the best way to improve it and make changes to the ordinance. I ask only that you be patient. It's going to take us a couple of months to work through these changes and affect ordinances changes that will hopefully reset the garbage collection system for the next several years, as well as acknowledge the fact that this acquisition has had some significant disruption to the way that services are provided here in Decatur. The third thing I want to talk about a little bit is law enforcement. The 21st of June is, I guess according to the calendar, is the beginning of summer, but in truth, most of us think about summer beginning after Memorial Day. And usually during the summer months, there's been an uptick in crime and violence, and certainly that's been true this year. We have seen on the news that crime is largely out of control in larger cities like Chicago, Atlanta, Portland, Seattle, and other places. This has not happened in Decatur. In Decatur, the mayor and city council have been very supportive of law enforcement, and I will say to you that we have good management of the Decatur Police Department, and we remain, I believe, well ahead of the curve with regard to professionalizing and modernizing our police department, well ahead of some of the recommendations that came down from the federal government. In other cities here in central Illinois, there have been incidents that I think result in certain neighborhoods in other cities, not in Decatur, here in central Illinois, that have to certain degrees surrendered the neighborhoods to the thugs. We have not and we will not do that here in Decatur. Summer has brought some uptick in unruly street parties. We have some videos of those that we have prepared, and we will probably share some of those videos with community leaders, certainly with the mayor and city council, and with the media as well. I believe that some of those videos that we are collecting will show that our police have acted professionally and that they have acted in a fair way. And I will say that it also shows that most people here in Decatur obey the police, and that it's only a small number of people that are intentionally disruptive or decide they want to harass neighbors that for the most part just want a peaceful neighborhood and just want a decent night's sleep. It's a small number of people that commit offenses, and we're going to deal with them. We are not going to surrender the streets to a small group of people who are just troublemakers. We are thankful for all the support that we receive from the people in those neighborhoods, from the management of the police department and all those who come alongside them. And there's still a lot of summer to come, and I'll have the opportunity to talk to you some more about some of the other measures that we'll be taking to maintain not only a safe, but also a pleasant summer, so that we can all enjoy it now that we are in phase 5 and back to the new normal. Look forward to giving you updates next week. Until then, thanks for tuning in to this video.